proceed.
Good afternoon. Please state your name for the record.
Christopher Salinas,
And Mr. Salinas, where do you currently reside? Don't give us the address, but just the town that you reside in.
Uvalde, Texas.
And in May of 2022, where were you living?
In Uvalde, Texas.
And I'm going to go ahead and take you back to May 24th of 2022. Are you the father of Samuel Salinas?
Yes, I am.
And just so we know, how many children do you have?
I have 4.
And is Samuel your third child?
Correct.
What grade was Samuel in on May 24th of 2022?
In 4th grade.
And how old was he at the time?
9.
9 years old? And was he, where was he going to school on that day?
At Robb Elementary.
And who was his teacher?
Ms. Garcia.
And was that in
Room
room
112.
Room 112? And was there something going on that day, something special for him?
Yeah, just a party after the day of school.
Is it-
Celebration of the end of the school year.
Okay. And was there an award ceremony that day?
Correct.
And do you know if Samuel did receive an award that day?
I do believe he did, yes.
Okay. Now, you were at work that day?
Correct.
Okay, but did you receive a text from the school?
I did receive a lockdown, I believe, text.
Okay. And when did you become aware that it was something more serious, that it was a serious situation?
When I got the phone call from the hospital.
Okay. And was that the Uvalde Memorial Hospital?
Correct.
And when did you see Samuel on May 24th?
After I got back from the call, then I left work. So it was about 2.5 hours later when I saw him.
Okay. And I was at the hospital?
Correct.
And what was he at the hospital for?
He was shot this thigh. Yeah.
Where was he shot at?
On his right thigh.
And did he have shrapnel in his right thigh?
Correct.
Now, does he still have those shrapnels and those bullet fragments in his right thigh?
Yes.
And what is he able to resume activities because of the shrapnel?
Very limited.
Okay. Explain to the jury his injury.
His gunshot wound to his left thigh. He can walk. Very limited. He has pain all the time on his right thigh. So he puts more weight on his left thigh, on his left leg, so he won't feel so much pain on this gunshot wound where he got his nerves and everything. So he complains a lot of pain through any exercise activities, walking, running. He'll do it, but then the next day he can't get up or walk or anything because of the pain is so severe for him.
Okay. Now, is there certain things that trigger Samuel or bother him that you've noticed since May 24th?
Mm-hmm.
And can you explain to the jury what those triggering events are?
Popping sounds, slamming doors, loud arguments, just violence on TV, things of that nature.
What about any particular colors?
Red.
And why red?
I think it's just a picture of what he saw in the classroom.
Okay. And have you seen Samuel disassociating with certain members of your family? Okay. And have you seen him instead only gravitating to certain members of your family? Okay. And who would that person be?
My oldest son, Sebastian.
Now, Mr. Salinas, is the child that you picked up from the hospital on May 24th the same child that was taken to school that day?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's the witness.
May I proceed?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Salinas, my name is Jason Goss. I'm sorry to hear about how Samuel's still suffering. I am relieved that you still have it, and I just wish the best for you. Okay, I'll pass it.
Redirect. He passed. Did you have any
Oh,
redirect?
I'm sorry, Ron. No redirect.
Okay, recall either side.
No, yeah.
Okay, sir, you are now released from the subpoena. You're now subject to recall. You're free to leave or stay, whatever you want to do. We just ask you don't discuss the testimony you gave in court until you're aware the case is over with. Thank you. No, we're gonna need it. That's fine. Good afternoon. Would you raise your right hand, please? You do solemnly swear the evidence in the testimony you're giving this cause will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your time, and we're gonna have you have a seat over here in the witness stand, right in front of the bailiff. Proceed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please state your full name for the record.
I'm Mercedes Salas.
And Ms. Salas, where are you currently employed?
Uvalde CISD.
And what is your job position?
Fourth grade teacher.
In May of 2022, where were you employed?
UCISD.
And what was your job position then?
Fourth grade teacher.
And in May of 2022, what campus did you work at?
Robb Elementary.
And how long had you been working at Robb Elementary as of May of 2022?
Since we had the reconstruction, so I want to say about 8 years.
And what grades did you teach in May of 2022?
Fourth grade.
Now, you said the construction, were you,
The reconstruction, because we were zoned before,
okay,
so now since they moved us, so first, second, this campus, third, fourth, this campus.
okay. And so was Robb Elementary, did it have new and old buildings also?
Yes.
Okay, and was the fourth grade building considered a new building?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where you worked?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up for you what's been previously admitted as a state's exhibit. You got a pointer there right in front of you. And we're gonna ask you to kind of show us, where was your classroom in the fourth grade building?
106.
106. Thank you. Now, I want you to explain to the jury when, at the time in May of 22, when you walked into your classroom, what is it that we would see when we walk into your classroom?
Okay. My door is right here, and my desk is right here. Had a window here, a window here. My library area, my view Sunday was right here, and my desk were around here.
And did you have one of those kidney-shaped desks?
No, mine was just a regular wooden rectangular
Okay.
desk. It was a good size.
Okay, good. Now, did you began the year at Rob, so 2021, 2022 school year, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And now, I'm going to ask you to explain to the jury as far as what your understanding is of what a lockdown is.
A lockdown is we turn off the lights, make sure that our door is locked, and we are out of sight.
And had you received training as a teacher for the Uvalde Independent School District on lockdowns?
Yes.
And who provided those trainings?
Some years it was administration. Some years we would have officers that would come and do our training. So it does depend.
When you say officers, do you mean law enforcement officers for the Uvalde School District?
Correct.
Okay. Now, how often was that training? Was it once a year, twice a year?
The lockdowns were once a year.
Now, who provided the training to the children?
We did, teachers.
The teachers did? Okay. And what did you train them to do?
I trained them that we have to hide, we have to be very quiet, and I always told them don't sit next to a friend because we're going to talk.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I would turn off the lights and I would make sure our door was locked.
Now, how often did the children receive training on lockdowns?
Every single time we had a drill,
Okay.
we would practice our training.
Okay. Now, as far as the training, what you're sitting there with lights out, doors locked, everybody quiet. What are you waiting for to end the drill or the lockdown?
Our admin would come on the intercom and they would tell us that it was clear and they would say it twice.
Now, that's for the drills. What about if it was a real situation?
We were told as some law enforcement would let us know somehow.
Okay.
So we'll just wait.
Now, Ms. Salas, I'm going to take you back to May 24th of 2022. What were your normal work hours on that day?
That day I had morning duty, so I was there at 7.
Okay. And was that bus duty?
Yes.
Okay. And after you had bus duty, what did you do that day?
I went to my classroom and we started our writings. We had work to do, so.
Now, was that a special day? Was there anything going on special for that day for Robb Elementary?
Yes, we had our ceremonies.
Award ceremony?
Award ceremony, yeah.
And what time was your award ceremony?
Can't remember the time, but I know we were rushed out of the cafeteria because second grade was going to come. So maybe 10:45, I'm not quite sure.
What did you do with your students after the award ceremony?
We went to our classroom and they wanted to watch a movie, Zootopia.
Zootopia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where were you around 11:30?
At 11:30, I was in my classroom.
Okay. And were the lights off while y'all were watching this movie?
Yes,
Okay. Do you remember how many students you had at the time?
16.
16. Is that how many had started the day with you?
No, I had a few that went home
Just
after the
few?
ceremony.
16 is still a pretty good number.
Yes, we were going to have snow cones at the end of the day,
And so the children,
so they wanted to have a snow cone.
okay. Now, around this time, did something that you hear catch your attention?
Yes,
And what was that?
a gunshot.
Okay. And what did you do when you heard the gunshot?
Well, at first I heard one gunshot because we were all watching the movie. Then I heard a gunshot and that registered and I just looked up. And then I heard, but it was far when I heard it. Then I heard a second one and that one was really close to the building. And one of my students heard the gunshot and he looked at me with panic. He's like, gunshot. I'm like, I just nodded yes, because I didn't want the other kids to hear.
Okay, and then what did you do?
I immediately started locking down my classroom.
Okay, so at this point, you've only heard gunshots,
Hmm.
and you have a student that's heard a gunshot, and you immediately go on lockdown.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do? When you say you went on lockdown, what did you do? You already had your lights out.
Right, I had my lights out, they were off, and my kids were scattered because they were laying down comfortable in their little pillows and stuff. So I started grabbing them and said, come on guys, let's go, let's sit down. They're like, but why, miss? I said, you don't worry about it, let's just do it. So they started doing it. And so I'm, going through the red list in my head, making sure I'm doing everything that I need to do. And then I received a Raptor alert at 11:32.
Okay.
And the last thing I had to do was to make sure that my door was locked, which it was locked. I normally kept my door locked.
Okay.
It was always locked.
Okay.
But I just had to make sure it really, really was.
Okay, so when you said made sure, what did you do to make sure that the door was locked?
I stepped out of my classroom
And what did you do?
and I slammed my door to make sure, it was, and then I wiggled to make sure it didn't open, so I knew my door was locked.
Okay. Now, what were your instructions? I want to be kind of clear with the jury. What were your instructions to your kids at this lockdown?
My instruction to the kids were, we're going to hide, we're going to be very, very quiet, and they did.
Now, did you stop the movie?
Oh yes, we paused the movie. The movie had to be paused. We couldn't have any sounds in my room.
Did you pause it or one of the children?
One of the kids paused it because they were close to the ViewSonic.
And did you tell that child to do it, or they knew to do it?
They knew to do it.
Okay. Now, at some point, did you look outside your window?
As I was looking in my room, scanning my room to make sure all my kiddos didn't stay closer, because I had some in my library area because it's a comfortable place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the library area, it was right above a window.
Okay. Now, so did any one of your students help you lock the door?
No, they did not help me lock the door. I went outside by myself, but one of them was following me because every drill, he always liked to follow me, to do the drill. He's like, miss, it's just a drill, miss. I can open the door for you, miss. I can follow you. I said, this time it was different. I told him, you can follow me. But he was relentless. I have to follow you. I do this every time with you. And I said, but not today. It's different today.
And you knew it was different because of why?
Because I heard the gunshots.
Okay. So, at the time that you're locking the door, are you hearing more gunshots?
At that point, no. I stepped outside, and because the way we were built inside, I was able to turn and I looked south just to see, make sure nobody was out there. And then I was gonna turn to look north, but I was the first classroom.
Mm-hmm.
But something inside of me said, don't stick your head out.
Okay.
So I did it, and I quickly went back into my classroom.
Now, do you remember any odor at this particular time? Anything that
Not at that time.
okay. What were your students doing at this time?
My kids were sitting down except for one student.
Okay.
One student was standing, and as soon as I went into my classroom, I saw him standing, and I said, you have to sit. And I grabbed him and I just went down with him like that. And as soon as I did that, I heard a gunshot inside in the hallway.
Okay. Now, while y'all are down and you're sitting down, what's going through your mind? Can you explain that to the jury?
When I heard the gunshot in the hallway?
Yes.
Okay, when I heard the gunshot in the hallway, I immediately texted my family.
Okay.
And I said, gunshots in the hallway, pray for us. I texted my husband, my daughter, and my son.
What were your students doing at this time?
They were sitting quietly because they heard them too. And I didn't want them to hear anything else, so I told them, you need to pray. So you need to pray. And I couldn't say it loud, and I had a lot of kids, so I just put my hands up.
Now, what is going through your mind? Do you think you're sufficiently protected at this point?
No, I knew I was not protected, and for that reason, I knelt. I was on my knees because I figured if someone comes in my door, I need to protect my students. So I looked at 3 chairs that I had close to me, and I figured, okay, I have chairs. I can throw chairs, and I can quickly get up. That's why I stay kneeling, because I can get up really quick, and I can just start throwing the 3 chairs that were right there close to me. And at that point, one of my students said, "Mrs. Salas," and I turned and I looked, and he had a pair of scissors. And I looked at him, I'm like, okay. I didn't tell him to put them away because those scissors made him feel safe.
Did any of your other students grab scissors?
I think a few more, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay. What could you hear as the shots were going off?
Before the gunshots started going off, I heard pounding. I heard pounding, like if somebody was pounding on my door, like the rattle of my doorknob. And then I thought someone was trying to get in my room. So I started praying. I was just praying to God, like, protect my door, shield my wall. And after that, then I heard a lot of gunshots. And after hearing so many gunshots, I started smelling gunpowder.
Did you hear any children at this time?
I heard kids screaming. And when they screamed, I heard the gunshots. Then I didn't hear them anymore. So I knew something happened to them because I couldn't hear them anymore. And whoever it was, I knew he was close to my room because I could just smell it. And I could hear the kids before he shot them.
But after that, you didn't hear any more screaming?
No.
Based on where you were, do you believe the students in your classroom heard the same thing?
Yes, because one of my kids said, "Miss Salas, they're screaming." And I said, "I know we have," because it was one of my girls, and I said, "They're screaming because they're scared just like you." I had to fight with them.
And what did you tell your children to do at this point?
I just told them to keep on praying.
Did you tell them to keep being quiet?
Yes, I told them just to be quiet and to keep on praying.
Now, why is it that you kept telling the children to be quiet?
Because of the smell of the gunpowder, I knew whoever it was, he was close to my room. And I didn't want that person to hear that we were in there.
So the whole time you're still thinking about how to protect your kids?
Yes, I kept on staring at my door, making sure no one came in through my door, and I kept on looking at my chairs that I had there. So I figured, okay, I can do this.
Now, were you eventually evacuated, Ms. Salas, from your classroom?
Eventually, yes, I was.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury how you eventually got out of that classroom?
Someone through the window said, "Is anyone in there?" And my kid said, "Miss, someone's there. The police is there." And I thought, I said, okay, no, because they haven't identified. I didn't say that to them, but I was just thinking, in my head, I was like, okay, they haven't identified who they were, so we're going to keep on being quiet.
And can you tell the jury why that is? Why somebody's saying, the police, but they haven't identified themselves, why you're reluctant to respond? Can you explain to the jury why that is?
Because they didn't identify themselves. They didn't say this is the police.
Is that part of your training?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what did you do?
So then I told my kids to be quiet, and And then I heard them say again, is anyone in there? They screamed, is anyone in there? And I told my kids, like this, like, to be quiet. And then after that, I heard my windows breaking. And I just stared at my windows, and I saw a baton at the end. So I figured, okay, these must be officers, because who else would carry a baton? So that's when I told my kids, okay, well, let's get up and let's go.
Okay. And were the officers rushing to get your kids out of that classroom?
They were.
Okay. Now, who was the last one out of your classroom?
Me.
And why is that?
When my last kiddo got out, I turned back and I started walking back to my classroom, to the middle of my room.
And why is that?
Because I had to make sure nobody stayed frozen.
And that was a possibility.
It could have been a possibility. They were scary.
But you wanted to make sure that every student was out?
Yes. So I remember walking back to the officer that told me, ma'am, you got to get out now. I remember walking in and I doing my hand and I was like, you need to wait. I said, you just have to wait. I have to make sure none of my kids are in there. So I would turn around and I went back again to the middle of my room, and I looked and I looked and I looked again, and then I turned around in the middle of the room and I remember saying, okay, I'm ready to go.
And is that when you exited the room?
That's when I exited the room.
Just to clarify, your windows were not shot out?
No.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury what your thoughts are about your students that day during this event?
My kids were so brave, being so close to danger. They listened to my instructions to survive. I was very proud of them.
Pass the witness.
May I proceed, Judge?
Please.
Ms. Salas, my name is Jason Goss. I'm one of the lawyers that represents Adrian, and I have a few questions for you. I think, I want to start out and just say, we all appreciate that you protected those kids, walking through their training. You're proud of them. I can see why. I think when that glass broke and you realized that the police had come to get you out, what did you feel like at that time?
At the moment, I felt that someone was finally there to help us.
Okay, and relief.
Yes, I did feel relief.
Because I'm sure you had every right to. You thought, especially with somebody jiggling at your door handle, you thought you were ready to die.
I did. I made peace with God.
That's right. And that's terrible. It's terrible that anybody would ever have to experience that. I want to talk about, but when the police got you out, that was...
A sign of relief.
Yeah, sure. So the door handle, it's one of the things you testified to. You were very direct about, and even to the point of you've already heard a gunshot, and that's why you're starting to lock down, right?
Right.
And you still go out of your room to make sure that door's locked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, you just have to say yes or no.
I'm sorry, yes.
Yes, sure. So you go out and check it, and here's one of the things that I haven't been clear on. I know that you have to use a key to lock and unlock the door.
Right.
And if the door is in a locked position, the ability is you can open it from the inside.
Correct.
But no one can open it
From the outside.
Right. So even if you made sure it was locked, you would then stick your key in it.
Right, to unlock it and lock it back, correct.
And then go back.
To get in.
Sure. So, and there was a time before you started hearing those gunshots in the hallway when you knew that there was a shooter inside of the school, that you said somebody was jiggling your handle, or you heard your handle jiggle. Is that right?
Right. Are you talking about the gunshots outside or already inside?
In the hallway.
Okay, yes. After the gunshot, then that's when I heard that.
And so somebody trying to...
Right.
And I think at the timing you assumed it was the shooter.
Yes.
And couldn't get in because your door was shut.
Correct.
And so your training, and locking the door and making sure it was locked. If that is indeed the shooter, like you suspected, that stopped him from getting into your room.
Correct.
The you know, as far as the, I saw, or I think I heard you testify that you had been, at that point, at Rob, you had been at Rob for 8 years.
Right, since the reconstruction.
Right, so 8 years to 2022 is 2014?
Yes, about 2014.
And it was your first year at Rob, 2014, but not your first year teaching.
No, that year was not my first year at Rob. Of the 2022?
No, 2014.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Before I was at Anthony Elementary.
Right, because I think, or maybe I saw it in your statement, you'd been a teacher for about 15 years in 2020.
Since 2008.
Okay, so your first year at Rob, what room were you teaching in?
Room 111.
And at a point during this, did you recognize the person who you now know as the shooter?
Yes.
And that person was one of your students in 111?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
While he was in 4th grade?
Yes.
And I don't ask you that to cause you pain. I ask you that because 111, it's a classroom like the other classrooms, but a person who's been in 111 might know the features of 111 because they had been there before.
Correct.
I'll pass it with.
No more questions, Your Honor. She's excused.
Not subject to recall, thank you.
Okay, ma'am, you are excused. You're welcome to stay, you're welcome to leave. We just ask, since the rule's been invoked, don't discuss the case with anybody until you know it's over with.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.